Hey there gamers, DreamcastGuy here. Today we're talking about Xbox because technically the new CEO doesn't actually begin until Monday, but she has spent this weekend pretty much tweeting nonstop about the future of Xbox, and people are immediately calling her on her lies. She also showed her Xbox Gamertag, and it's clearly being played by an employee, but I want to break it down because people are instantly saying that this is definitely the death of Xbox. This is a non-gamer in charge of, well, maybe not the biggest gaming brand, but definitely still a multi-billion-dollar part of the gaming industry. Let's break it down. Hi, hope you're having a great day. If you could please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll be honest, I just did about 7.5 hours of volunteer work in a, it was basically a dusty factory. So if it looks like I've been sneezing for hours, well, I have. But let me start with this. So let's just begin with the fact that she had this Twitter account that clearly she'd never used before, but it's funny because it just says, hey, I'm the CEO of Xbox. And all of her tweets are incredibly generic. Lots of, hey, what's the greatest game? And of course, all the replies are, yep, hope you prove us all wrong because faith in the brand is down the toilet. My personal list is Red Dead Redemption 2, The Witcher, and Fallout. Everybody is basically just sending her requests to how to run Xbox. There's no way she's even seeing this. Main reason a lot of people hate this lady, just to get this out of the way, she clearly does not know anything about video games. She's an AI guru. She's a person that was hired because Microsoft is investing billions, tens of billions of dollars into their AI front and not Xbox. So I guess they thought, okay, let's hire this lady, and even if Xbox closes down, we'll have an executive to move back over to the Microsoft AI branch. But literally, every reply, look at that. Keep bringing Xbox games to PlayStation. The fans want it. Your devs want it. Do what's best for your bottom line. Everybody basically is like, while I have your attention, please make your next Elite controller with better sticks. So here's the thing. Even when she talks about gaming, something about it feels very fake. Like she said, oh, my favorite games are Halo, Valheim, and Goldeneye. And I'm not going to say that she's straight up just making that up, but if you had to just AI prompt best games that happen to be on Xbox, this is what the AI would spit out. No offense, but a lot of this comes down to her gamer tag. We're going to go through that in a bit because her gamer tag was literally made like 15 days ago. Very clearly, she got the call, said, you're going to be the new CEO of Xbox. Don't worry, we're going to assign you an account. Now, other companies have had rumors of this in the past. Specifically, there have been leakers that claim that Phil Spencer is online all the time. Phil Spencer is playing Fallout 76 like 12 hours a day. Apparently, there is literally dedicated employees at Xbox that would just play Phil Spencer's account. That's why you would never catch him on the mic or really doing anything. He kind of just aimlessly wandered the wasteland. Very odd. But here's the thing. She's just replying stuff like, one of the things that keeps going around is, as the new CEO, I hope you understand how important it is for exclusive games and how much Halo, Gears, and Forza, Fable, they created the identity for Xbox and its players, becoming a key point of Xbox success. Xbox games must only be on Xbox. Now, at this point, it's pretty obvious this ship has sailed. Xbox games are never going back to only being on Xbox. If they actually cared about selling hardware, absolutely they do. But at this point, Microsoft could not give a good goddamn about actually selling hardware, right? But she did reply, hear you. Literally, these two words has led to like 15 articles, 12 separate Reddit threads, entire people freaking out. Finally, the gamer queen. This is not happening, boys. I mean, lock in. There is no way this is actually going to be anything good, right? Good news for Xbox. The CEO, Asha Sharma, commented, hear you in response to gaming exclusivity being part of the Xbox success hardware. Guys, I'm begging you not to read into two-word replies on social media thinking they will reverse an entire years-long strategy roadmap. Now, I've talked about this in videos. I had predicted that Phil Spencer was going to get fired. I still think that the main reason he got fired is apparently, according to a lot of sources inside of Xbox, he was purely all in on one thing and one thing only, and that was Game Pass. He said, we should not be selling games. We shouldn't care much about like mid-range refreshes. Literally, everything needs to be in the Game Pass basket. Good indie games, good exclusives by studios, everything for Game Pass. And clearly, that failed catastrophically. That's why they had to start bringing basically everything they could over to PlayStation, over to PC. I mean, some of those Xbox games are even going to Nintendo Switch too. that was not optional, right? That was because they absolutely had to do it. Now, people are basically already making memes about the fact that this is something that Phil Spencer said a lot. We're listening and we hear you. We've been planning a business update for the next week where we look forward to sharing more details about the future of Xbox. This stuff is corpo lies. I mean, there's not another way to say it. We're listening. We hear. We care. Yes, we're completely screwing over our gamers, but we hear you. Yeah, I'm sure they do, right? They hear you all the way to the bank. Exclusives should return if Microsoft wants to sell consoles, but I think Microsoft's main goal is to rapidly increase profitability across their gaming division. Considering they're struggling to achieve this while being multi-platform, I doubt they'll go back. And I actually think this is a really good point, which is that it is odd that we're at a point where even if they are selling their games on PlayStation, and apparently they're selling crazy on PlayStation, some of the numbers, I think that already Forza has sold like 6 or 7 million copies, that's like a huge seller. Like 6 million copies on one platform in 1 year is insano. I always forget how big Forza is, to be honest with you. And if that is not making it profitable, going back to exclusive isn't going to randomly snap the needle into the green, right? Everybody is really talking about this, but here's the other part of it. She's not a console gamer. Are we cooked, chat? Let's talk about this incredibly decent, very bad gamer tag. Now, quickly, a lot of people are trying to defend it, saying, oh, she isn't a gamer. You're right. There's a difference between not running a gaming brand and not playing games at all. She posted her gamer tag, but it looks like she's trying to catch up on a bunch of Xbox stuff. But I mean, there are a trillion games, and most of them aren't super gamers like Phil. Now, we're going to go through this with a fine-tooth comb, but I do want to point out that I am of two minds about this, to be honest with you, which is that I do think they are just doing this for show. In that, if you suddenly become the CEO of a company, you have to have some sort of presence on that platform. Like, let's be clear, I don't use DoorDash. I'm going to use an analogy here. I don't use DoorDash, mostly because it's really expensive and quite frankly, I can't really afford it. But if suddenly they said, you're now the CEO of DoorDash, I'm probably going to be like, hell yeah, I get all my meals on DoorDash. I'm going to be posting like screenshots of, here's the last 800 meals I had on DoorDash. Every day I get my daily meal of DoorDash. Because you got to at least pretend to care about the brand. And this, to me, this feels like she's trying to just fake her rep. I bet to some degree she seems young, she seems intelligent. I bet she's probably played Animal Crossing and stuff. And I'm not meaning that as a slight that Nintendo gamers are fake gamers. Some of my friends that play way more than me and I'm playing all day are people playing games like Animal Crossing and Splatoon and stuff, right? My point is the fact that I think they told her, you're not allowed to say you have 800 hours playing Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. You have to pretend you're playing normie Xbox games. But even still, this is a hilariously pathetic attempt to cover her tracks. The new CEO has posted her gamer tag. It's AMRAHSAHSA. Analyzing the gamer tag, there's a couple curious things that don't quite add up for some people. The account seems to have been created on January 15th because that's when her first trophy was popped. The volume of gameplay in a single month is, to say the least, suspicious. She probably had an entire team of people, or probably not even her, Xbox people had literally made this account for her. Ball Pit, she created 100% completion in 43 hours of play over the course of a single week. Ball X Pit, very fun. I've platinumed Ball X Pit. It doesn't take nearly that long. I think it takes about 20 hours. This sounds like maybe somebody literally left the account on just to get extra credit for it. Minecraft, less than 12 hours, but has very rare achievements that nobody unlocks quickly playing casually, and which is certain. She mentioned that she played Firewatch. It has all the achievements. She talked about it in a recent Vanity interview. There's nothing damning, but it does give the impression of being somewhat artificial to gain street cred in the community. The hours and achievements in such a short time feel a bit off. And I am very much in that camp. I just don't think this is real. The 29 games she's played, some people are like being like, whoa, she's playing Borderlands 2. Look at that. She played Halo and Forza. I just don't think this is real. Ball X Pit, Fallout 76, she like did the tutorial. Microsoft WordMart, Solitaire, A Short Heart Daisy. Come on. No, look, I'm not going to be a hater. But some of these games, you played 30 minutes of Hogwarts. You randomly played a freaking 20 hours of Firewatch, 12 minutes of Quake, Skylines 10 minutes. It just has that weird air of your new boss trying to pretend that he could do your job. And he can't, right? I'm still in the position that The reason I'm very anti-Asha, it's going to take me a bit to remember her name because it's just not a name I've heard before. Asha Sharma is an AI tech bro. She's clearly one of those people that thinks that AI will solve every problem. That instead of trying to make stuff better or faster or higher quality, it's literally just about effectiveness. A big problem I have with AI, and I've said this in other videos, is that it's about the product instead of the process. You know, I think some of the videos I like to watch the most are really highly edited, like true crime stuff, where they dig up cases I've never heard of, and they do all sorts of cool investigation, and they get like the confession room tapes, and then like trial footage and stuff. That's the stuff that takes months and months and months to produce. A lot of times, entire teams. There's actually paperwork you have to do called a FOIA request, Freedom of Information Act. My point is that a good product takes time, and you know what's flooding the true crime space on YouTube? Crappy AI videos of fake crimes. Literally, it's just completely made up manufactured BS. My point is the fact that I feel like the gaming space is going to start to get filled with AI slop, where even if it looks kind of good in parts, it lacks soul, it lacks focus, it lacks charm. It's product over passion. And that's what I think of Asha, right? Product over passion. We'll see if anything good comes out of this. I'm still in the camp. There ain't going to be a next-gen Xbox. There ain't going to be an Xbox in a year. I bet this lady's job is to rip it apart, sell it for parts, and count down the dollary dues. Thank you so much for watching, gamers. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming. Oh my lord, doing that volunteer work today was very fun, but I am not very good. Did I say warehouse? I guess it was a warehouse, right? What else do you call a giant empty room where you're doing volunteer work? Yeah, I guess it was a warehouse.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.